Hello Bloomington, I'm Mayor Tim Busse, and this is the Council Minute for the week of October 24th. On Monday night, after a public comment opportunity and another long and thoughtful discussion by the City Council, the Council voted down a proposal to provide Artistry a $750,000 loan from the City of Bloomington. As I discussed last week, the pandemic caused a significant operating shortfall in Artistry's budget, and as the Artistry Chair told us last month, poor management and board oversight made a bad situation worse. Artistry has exhausted their financial reserves, and they asked the city to assist in their recovery plan. At our September 19th meeting, the City Council approved a $150,000 grant for Artistry. In the past 2 weeks, Artistry had come forward with a request for a $750,000 loan from the City of Bloomington to help the organization become sustainable once again. More than a dozen people spoke at the public comment period on Monday night, both for and against the loan. And I and others on the council received many emails from residents, again, both for and against. Thanks to everyone who provided input. In our discussion, I think every member of the City Council expressed their strong support for the arts. I know I did. I've been a vocal proponent of the arts over the years, not only as an economic driver. Remember, pre-pandemic, the arts had a $12 million local economic impact, but also as an important piece of what makes a city special. I often say, a great city has great art. But ultimately, the council decided it could not support a $750,000 loan to Artistry. There are simply too many unanswered questions about a business plan, a development plan, and a viable path forward that confidently pointed to the success of the organization. As one council member put it, this loan application wouldn't be approved by a bank or a lending institution. It would be irresponsible for the city to make a different decision. There was also discussion about equity regarding our other arts organizations, past financial support of Artistry, and the fact that $750,000 is not an insignificant amount of money. The next steps specific to Artistry are up to the Artistry Board of Directors. They will meet very soon to determine where the organization goes from here. Now, I need to be clear about a couple of things. First, this decision does not significantly impact the other arts organizations that call the Bloomington Center for the Arts home. Angelico Cantante, Bloomington Chorale, Bloomington Symphony Orchestra, Continental Ballet, the Medalist Concert Band, and the Notable Singers are all independent of Artistry. They will continue to operate regardless of what happens to Artistry. Second, this decision wasn't punitive in any way. The City Council isn't punishing Artistry. The Council simply made a decision in the best interest of Bloomington. And finally, some people are speculating on social media that something inappropriate or illegal has happened. Those comments are just that, speculation. As always, be wary of uninformed insinuations on social media. I said earlier, a great city has great art, and we still have great art here in Bloomington. I won't deny it, our arts ecosystem will be different if Artistry is not able to get through their current troubles. But art in Bloomington will still be strong. Those arts organizations I mentioned earlier are still an important part of our community, and like all arts organizations, they too were financially impacted by the pandemic. Support them if you're able. Buy a ticket and attend one of their performances very soon. I know they'd love to see you. Back in September, the City Council approved the preliminary 2023 tax levy and the directly related preliminary 2023 general fund budget. As it currently stands, the preliminary levy is proposed to increase by 10.5% to $75.5 million. I said back in September that the council action of approving the preliminary levy was just one step in the larger discussion of Bloomington's budgets, and that the City Council would be talking in depth about budgets in meetings all the way through October and into November. Over the past couple of weeks, council and staff have done just that. In our past 2 meetings, the council has heard in-depth presentations on the following budgets: the Utility Enterprise Funds, Fleet and Facilities Internal Service Funds, Public Works General Fund, Information Technology, Public Safety, which includes the Police and Fire General Funds, Safety, Technical and Equipment Fund, and the Fire Pension Fund, and the Legal Department budget. Now, all of our budget discussions are important, but the last couple of weeks were especially important because of the public safety discussions. I've shown this chart before, but I think it's helpful to see again. This chart breaks down the proposed 10.5% tax levy increase and shows how that total would parse out by city department. As you can see, 3.49% of the increase would go toward the police department. 3.38% will go to the fire department. And even the 1.52% increase in debt service, the majority of that number is the debt related to the new fire station number 4. In total, more than 8% of the 10.5% proposed levy increase is dedicated to public safety. This truly is a public safety budget. More specifically, investments in police would mean 2 additional police officers, a new dispatch training coordinator, and funds for body cameras, training, and supplies. Investments in the fire department would move Bloomington toward the much-needed transition to a full-time fire department. Our budget this year certainly emphasizes public safety, and it's important to remember that currently and historically, public safety has been a point of emphasis in Bloomington City spending. Our conversation on Monday also included a good illustration of the deliberations, the checks and balances, and the practicality that goes into determining a city budget. This budget reflects issues we've been talking about for some time and that have been identified by Bloomington residents as top priorities. But council and staff understand full well the need to balance well-reasoned priorities with the financial realities of the world. That's why this budget focuses on public safety and also includes additional staff to work on natural resources and sustainability issues. But it doesn't include funding for even more police officers, for a civilian crime prevention position, and additional staff and equipment for sidewalk snow plowing. We fully understand the need to balance priorities that we know are important to many members of this community with the desire to keep the levy increase at a reasonable level. It's something we keep in mind and thoughtfully discuss every single time we talk about city budgets, community priorities, and taxes. On November 14th, we'll be holding public hearings on city water and wastewater rates and solid waste and refuse collection rates. On November 21st, there will be a special meeting where we'll hear budget presentations from the remaining departments and discuss the overall 2023 budget and tax levy. Our Truth in Taxation hearing will be held on December 5th. There is a lot of budget information available on the Bloomington City webpage. Check it out, and please don't hesitate to contact me or other members of the City Council or City staff if you have questions. And finally today, November is recognized as Native American Heritage Month. And on Monday night, I read a proclamation that was brought forward by the Bloomington Human Rights Commission. It encourages everyone to acknowledge and celebrate the history, culture, and traditions of Native Americans here in Bloomington. Dakota, Ojibwe, and Iowa Indians have a long and rich history and presence in Bloomington. And in fact, the city of Bloomington is built on lands once known by Native Americans as where the water touches the bluffs. During Native American Heritage Month, and always, we should celebrate the rich tapestry of Indigenous peoples and honor their vibrant and diverse cultures. Those cultures are unquestionably woven into the history and the present times of this community, this state, and this country. That will do it for this week's Council Minute. Thank you so much for tuning in. Until next time, stay safe, Bloomington.